Grouping is a fundamental feature in the StatSeeker product. It's a core mechanic utilised by dashboards, reporting, thresholds and alerting, visibility and access control, and filtering response data when you use the API. If you're not at all familiar with auto-grouping within StatSeeker, then I suggest checking out the documentation to get a solid understanding of the feature and its applications, and then return to this video so we can run through some basic examples. The idea here is that you define auto-grouping rules that will group your network infrastructure in a way that makes sense to you. There are endless ways to group your hardware, so we're going to run through a few options. And even if we don't illustrate something that applies explicitly to your organization, the principles and mechanics of the process will become obvious, allowing you to quickly employ them as needed to suit your specific requirements. Here we have a server. There are a number of groups already created on the server, some from a manual process, but the majority arising as the output of auto-grouping rules. To define an auto-grouping rule, we head off to the admin tool. User profile and grouping, auto-grouping. Here we have a range of existing auto-grouping rules, so let's make a few more. New rule. Give it a name. What group do I want to create or populate? You can use more than one. And what am I putting into the group? Now, the filters. We can use any configuration data that's associated with the specified group type. Your network might have an enforced hardware naming convention. So let's go with device name. Any substring that will be restricted to the devices you want. For my network, -SWT, test the rule. Does it get all the devices that I think I want? Does it get only the devices that I think I want? If so, run it. Save the rule. We've got a new remote office that's come online. So name, group, content, and rule. Everything in Chicago. Let's combine the two rules that we just made to get Chicago switches. I select the group filter, select the group, drop in the name, test it, Chicago switches. I know that I have a bunch of Juniper 3600 devices. They all need to be replaced. So let's group them, and I can run a report across my network, pull their details. In my network, our remote offices are assigned an IP range, so I can use that as well. I can use 10144, and everything in that subnet will be my New York office. What about a group of interfaces? I know that all of my remote offices have a primary link that's got a title that includes link to San Jose. Which of these are still on a gigabit link? So we've got groups. Let's put them to use. That new Chicago office, what hardware's in there? Select the group. Give me the device details. Those Juniper 3600s, where are they? The remote office links that need to be upgraded, which offices? That New York office, how's it looking? reports, dashboards, thresholds and alerting, and API queries. Keep it fast, keep it simple, use grouping. There's a range of other examples, as well as some tips and tricks in the documentation and associated videos.